Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Sing Confidently Live Creatively podcast. Estelle here. Today, I'm sharing a recording of a Facebook Live that I did where we talked all about vibrato, kind of chatting about what vibrato is and how can we start developing it as singers. And this was based on a question that I got in the Facebook group. So first of all, if you're not in the Facebook group, go join. You can go to creativelybyestelle.com slash community, creativelybyestelle.com slash community. And if you join, and you ask a question, like I'll answer it in there. I'll make it a podcast episode or I'll answer it in the group itself so we can chat over there. And I'd love to talk with you and answer your questions, help you out. Like, let's be in this together, you know? So don't stay with your questions. Come over to the Facebook group and ask them. And that's what happened with this person who had a question, and you'll hear more about her question in a second. But yeah, I hope this encourages you that you can develop vibrato and you as a beginner singer, like you can ask these questions and get answers and we can work through them together, okay? I hope you enjoy this little episode, this little Facebook chat. Don't forget to join the Facebook group. And yeah, let's get into it. Again, Jacquees' question in the Facebook group was, why is my vibrato not developed yet? And what do I need to do to get it? So I think vibrato can be kind of elusive. But basically, it's that sound, it's the acoustic impression that we get when we hear a note, when we hear a tone that is kind of vibrating or like oscillating around a pitch. So if I'm singing just the Defying Gravity cry at the end of Defying Gravity in Wicked, this is not the correct key, but it's okay. If I'm singing that note, you start to hear what's called a vibrato, which is, it sounds like a kind of like a shaking, it sounds like an oscillation, and it's kind of wobbling around the main pitch that I'm singing, which is the or it's a straight pitch that I'm singing. And towards the end of that note, as I hold it out, you'll start to hear that oscillation. So that is vibrato. So the question that Jack we had is that why have I not developed it yet? And I completely understand it. My answer was one way to start to develop, or my answer was that we all have vibrato to some extent when we sing, right? Because our voices, like we're not just singing one straight pitch, right? Sound waves are like there's a wave, right? Each sound that we're creating has multiple sound waves, actually complex sound waves when we sing. And so there might be some vibrato to some extent when you're singing, but maybe you're not hearing it very clearly, or it's not very balanced, or it's not regular. It's a bit irregular. And so, but I just wanted to encourage you that it's something that you can absolutely develop. And it's more audible when you have a balanced voice, which I'll get into in a second. And I want to relate to you that I also struggled with not really hearing consistent or sometimes any vibrato. Like I did not really hear any vibrato in my voice. Like even getting into my 20s, like I felt like I don't hear myself like holding out notes and then hearing that nice full sound that I hear other singers having, and that full sound was vibrato because that's what vibrato does. It has this particular adds this texture to your voice. And so I completely feel that, Jacques, of why have I not got it? Why is it not regular? So for me, I started looking up methods and just like ways to kind of start developing it. And what I found in looking things up was that it's also just a natural result of having a functioning, balanced voice, of having good technique and having a well-coordinated voice where your voice is functioning correctly. And I'll talk about that in a second. So again, what is vibrato? It's the free functioning result of a free functioning and balanced voice. So that's the way that I would like to define it. But practically speaking, it adds that texture, it adds that timbre to the voice. It produces that sound where the sound is oscillating around the actual pitch and tone that you're singing. And it gives the impression that the sound is really centered around the correct pitch. And it just adds like a sweet sound to it, depending on the style of music that you're singing. Also, different styles call for different levels of vibrato and different types of vibrato. But so, how do you start to develop it as a beginner singer or someone who's coming back to singing, someone who's an adult singer? and you just are like, why have I not gotten it yet? Some things to think about when you want to develop it. I said to Jacques in the Facebook group, I said one way to start to develop vibrato is simply trying out a phrase or pitch on a vowel and see if you can slowly change how much pressure versus flow there is. And I'll give an example of that in a moment. And then the other thing you want to think about is really just developing a healthy, balanced singing voice. So a voice that is free and not full of tension, like not having too much muscle tension. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get that nice oscillating sound if your vocal folds or not even just your vocal folds, like the muscles that are being used to stretch and to thicken your vocal folds. If there's tension there, they're not going to be able to do their job well, and you're not going to hear that nice, beautiful vibrato. So you need to be able to work on relaxing the throat, relaxing the jaw, not having too much tension around your throat area where your muscles for your voice are functioning. So, yeah, so the biggest thing is working on developing a balanced voice, but practical ways to start hearing it. So, I mentioned holding out a pitch, holding out a note on kind of a neutral vowel or an open vowel, and see if you can slowly change the amount of pressure versus airflow. Changing the pressure versus airflow is going to help you to kind of hear that vibrato. So if I'm just singing, ah, let me go back to that. Ah, I'm saying ah. Okay. If I want to sing the ah in a straight tone, I'm going to make sure there's a certain amount of vocal intensity and pressure so that it's just straight and clear. Ah, right? Ah, can you sing that with me? Ah, you can already start to hear a little bit of vibrato, but try and take it out. Now, if I want to add some vibrato, let's just start by changing the balance of airflow versus air pressure, and even singing around, like pulsating around the main pitch. Ah, do you hear how I'm kind of adding pressure, then flow, pressure, flow? Ah, and I'm also kind of oscillating around the pitch. Ah, ah, sing that with me. Ah, right? So you're kind of feeling in your voice that difference between pressure and flow, and also like just singing around the pitch. You're not quite singing the pitch. Now that you've pulsated around that long held note, you change the amount of air pressure and airflow. Make sure that you are relaxed in your jaw and your throat. Can you just do like an ah, relaxing that jaw out, relaxing that jaw down, nice and relaxed, seeing if you can stay nice and relaxed around your throat and jaw, not taking breaths in that are tightening around your chest and around your clavicle and around your throat, but instead keeping your shoulders nice and relaxed. And now do that same note. Ah, and start to see if you can speed up that wobble. Ah. So it takes that. It's you hear how like eventually the natural vibrato starts to come out after I kind of stopped wobbling. What happens is that because I have my instrument functioning where I'm relaxed, I don't have muscle tension, and I'm also having that nice balance of air pressure versus airflow, then my natural vibrato is able to come out a little bit there at the end. But it's really ultimately it goes back to the main point, which is it's about building and developing a coordinated, balanced instrument. And so it's something that will take work, but doing that to at least try to hear how it could sound in your voice might be helpful to you. And that's just my take on it as a voice teacher. I would love to hear what you guys think. What has worked for you in the past? What hasn't worked for you in the past? Like, let me know in the comments below in this Facebook group. Come to the Facebook group. If you aren't in this, for those of you listening to the podcast, go to the Facebook group, creativelybyestelle.com/community, and post in there. Let me know what you guys think. But for me, I like the ah and just playing around with adding in the pressure, releasing the pressure, adding in pressure, releasing pressure, and changing the note a little bit. But ultimately, I need you guys, if you're starting to sing again or you are wanting to develop vibrato as an adult singer, I need you to be working on balancing your voice overall. You need to be able to to be have all parts of your instrument correctly and at least like, in the process of being coordinated correctly. So your breath, which is your power source, along with your resonance, your vocal tract, your vowel shapes, your jaw, is it tight? Is your tongue tight? Where's the tension? Releasing that, changing the shape of your vocal tract so that you have that nice resonance that you need, and then the right amount of air pressure versus airflow at your vocal folds. That's your instrument. It's your vocal tract, your vocal folds, and your lungs, your breath, right? Your power source. And remember, making sure that you have gone back and listened to all the episodes that I have on like breathing, breath support, and on, vowel modification, etc. Some of them are still coming, they're still going to come out soon if they haven't already been released, but go and listen to the episodes and see if you can work on building your technique as a singer, because then you're not going to need to worry about like, oh, forcing vibrato. It should never be about forcing vibrato. It should come naturally when you have the right amount of air pressure slash airflow, and your vocal tract resonance is you're shaping your vocal tract properly, and you also have the right, well, your air pressure is going to, and your airflow is going to be, better balanced when you have a good handle on how to breathe properly. So that breath support episode is important, making sure that you are engaging your abdominal muscles, you're engaging your core, so you're able to get the right amount of air pressure is important. But this is part of having a balanced voice. It's part of having a coordinated voice, and building that technique is just so crucial. So make sure that you are working on that. Come and grab a lesson. If you haven't worked with me before, I'd love to help you out, hear your unique voice, and see if I can help you get some exercises for you and help you to develop that technique and that coordinated voice so that you can have that vibrato naturally without feeling like you have to force it. Okay, but still try the exercise to see if you can start to hear that change of airflow and air pressure in your voice, as well as hearing, the pitch oscillating, and see if that helps you at all. Feel free to share your own ideas and thoughts. If you have any other questions, I'd be happy to help you. Okay. I hope this helps you. Have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you so, so much for listening to today's episode and to this show. I'm so in awe of you for being here and showing up for your creative gifts. That takes courage. Don't forget to join the Performing Arts community on Facebook for support and inspiration as you continue on your journey. If this episode helped or inspired you in any way, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts and share it with someone. It means so, so much. Thank you again, and don't forget to keep singing, acting, dancing, performing, and living creatively. Talk to you next time.